Greetings to all viewers. This is Professor Ankit Singh. We'll now move to the next topic, that is evaluation of soil strength. Okay. The tests used to evaluate the strength properties of soils may be broadly divided into three groups. Okay. So there are basically three types of tests to be conducted on soil, which is to be used as a subgrade material. The three types of tests are shear tests, bearing tests, and penetration test. Firstly, let us look at shear tests. Shear tests are usually carried out on relatively small soil samples in the laboratory in order to find the strength properties of a soil. A number of representative samples from different locations are tested. Some of the commonly known shear tests are direct shear test, triaxial compression test, and unconfined compression test. Okay, so the shear tests are tests which are carried out on a small soil sample. We take out a soil sample from the site and then bring it to the lab, and then there are three types of shear tests that we can conduct on this soil sample, that is direct shear test, triaxial compression test, and unconfined compression test. So now in my lecture we will not be going through in detail about each of these tests, because you will be learning about these tests in detail in Geotech 1. So I'll just be briefing. So this is the setup, okay, machinery setup used for direct shear test. In direct shear test, we have a rectangular mold in which we place the soil sample, okay. Then along this shear plane, a force is applied, okay, and also an externally applied normal force or perpendicular force is also being applied to this soil sample. So there are forces in two directions. One is the force in the longitudinal direction, okay, along the shear plane, and the other one is the normal force that is perpendicular to this shear plane, okay. Now as we keep on increasing the load, the shear load, at some particular load a shear will take place, okay. Then the load which causes the shear is nothing but the direct shear stress, direct shear force, and that divided by the area of the cross section would give us direct shear stress. Now this is the apparatus used for direct shear stress. Now this apparatus here is used for triaxial compression test. In triaxial compression test, there are two types of forces which are being applied, okay. Firstly, what we do is we prepare a cylindrical soil specimen, then we place it in the apparatus, then one force is being applied in the normal direction from above, okay, and the second type of force which is applied through the sides or through the casing of this cylinder, okay. Now this force, the force demarked by these blue lines, is applied by water, okay. There is water pressure, and due to which a load is being applied in this direction. Now due to a combination of the normal force and this force, the soil specimen will fail in shear, and the load which causes this failure is known as this shear load, okay. This is a soil specimen which has been failed under triaxial compression test, okay. The shear plane here might not be perpendicular as in the case of direct shear stress. Here the plane would always be a straight line, the shear plane in the perpendicular direction, but here in the triaxial test the shear plane can differ in direction, okay, and normally it is in a diagonal shape. You can see the diagonal shape, okay. The third type of test is unconsolidated compression test, unconfined compression test, sorry. Here there is no casing to the soil specimen, and direct normal load is being applied, and the load at which the specimen fails is the shear force. This force divided by the cross-sectional area would give us the shear stress, okay. So there are three types of test, there are three types of shear tests that we perform on the soil sample, which are direct shear test, triaxial compression test, and unconfined compression test. Now the second type of tests are bearing tests. Bearing tests are loading tests which are carried out on subgrade soils in situ with a load bearing area, okay. So these tests are carried out at site. The results of the bearing tests are influenced by the variation in soil properties within stressed soil mass underneath, and hence the overall stability of the part of the soil mass stressed could be studied, okay. So these values of bearing stress would depend on the already stressed soils at some places and the different types of soils, okay, and the overall stability of that part of soil mass, okay. So under the bearing test in particular, what we test for road is the plate bearing test, okay. This is the plate bearing test apparatus, okay, in order to test the soil at site. We'll look into this in detail later on. Now the third type of tests are penetration tests. The penetration tests may be considered as small-scale bearing tests in which the size of the loaded area is relatively much smaller and the ratio of penetration to the size of loaded area is much greater than the ratio in bearing tests, okay. So what's the difference between the bearing tests and the penetration tests? Here the area of loading in the penetration test would be less, and also the ratio of penetration to the loaded area would be higher, okay, in the case of penetration tests as compared to bearing tests. The penetration tests are carried out in the field or in the laboratory, okay. Here we have a choice. These type of tests can either be carried out at field or in a laboratory. The California bearing ratio test and the cone penetration tests are commonly known as penetration tests. So these are the basically used tests in order to test a road site, okay. So now we'll look into detail about the first penetration type of test, that is CBR test or California bearing ratio test, which is a very important test which is used in order to design the flexible pavement. The California bearing ratio test was developed by California Division of Highway as a method of classifying and evaluating soil, subgrade and base course materials for flexible pavements, okay. So the CBR test can be either be conducted on aggregates or it can be conducted on soil. CBR test is an empirical test and has been used to determine the material properties for pavement design. It is a penetration test wherein a standard piston of 50 mm diameter is used to penetrate the soil at a standard rate of 1.25 mm per minute. Okay, so in this CBR test, what we do is we use a 50 mm diameter piston or a cylinder, 50 mm diameter cylinder, which penetrates the soil at a standard rate of 1.25 mm per minute. This means that every minute there would be a standard penetration of 1.25 mm. The pressure up to a penetration of 12.5 mm and its ratio to the bearing value of standard crushed rock is termed as CBR. Okay, so CBR is nothing but an indicator of the stability or the strength of the soil. Okay, and it is the ratio between the pressure of penetration at, sorry, it is a ratio to the bearing value of the crushed rock in terms of CBR. Okay, so the load resisted at some particular penetration of soil divided by the standard resistance of that material. Okay, that is how we obtain the CBR. In most cases, CBR decreases as the penetration increases. Okay, so as we go deeper into the soil, as the cylinder that we are using, if as it goes on penetrating the soil sample deeper, the CBR value would go on reducing. Okay, so in this figure you can see there is a plunger or a piston of 50 mm diameter and we have the soil sample. Now this soil sample is initially prepared. Okay, it is compacted in 5 layers. Now when we test it at a standard penetration rate of 1.25 mm per minute. Okay, we keep on increasing the load and we can read that load using the proving ring dialer here. Okay, and we read the penetrations using this dial gauge. Okay, so we keep on applying the load, and as the plunger penetrates this soil sample, we record the penetration to the load. Okay, so at what load there is what penetration. Now these readings are recorded. Now these readings are recorded up to a penetration of 12.5 mm. Okay, so up to a penetration of 12.5 mm, these readings are being recorded. Okay, the ratio at 2.5 mm penetration is used as the CBR, and in some case the ratio at 5 mm may be greater than that at 2.5 mm. If this occurs, the ratio at 5 mm should be used. Okay, so now let us see what is this 2.5 mm penetration and 5 mm penetration. Okay, so what we are doing is we are increasing the load and we are observing the penetration. So at some increase in load there is some penetration, and as we go on increasing the loads, the penetration will also increase. So what we do is we plot a graph. Now this here is a graph, okay, of load versus penetration. This penetration on x-axis and load on y-axis. Okay, so later on what we do is we obtain the load values for 2.5 mm penetration. Okay, and then the load values for 5 mm penetration. Now those values are used in order to calculate the CBR. The CBR is a measure of resistance of a material to penetration of standard plunger under controlled density and moisture conditions. The CBR test may be conducted in remolded or undisturbed soil specimen in the laboratory. Okay, so we can either bring in disturbed soil sample and then compact it and then test it, or we can bring undisturbed soil samples to the laboratory and directly test it for its CBR strength. The test is simple and has been extensively investigated for field correlations of flexible pavement thickness requirement. Okay, the CBR values are correlated to find out the flexible pavement total thickness. Okay, so now let us have a look at the test procedure. The laboratory CBR apparatus consists of a mold 150 mm diameter with a base plate and a collar. Okay, so there's a load of there's a mold of, this is a mold, there's a mold of 150 mm diameter with a collar plate and a base plate. Okay, a loading frame and dial gauges for measuring the penetration values and expansion on soaking. Okay, so this is the loading frame and dial gauges. The specimen in the mold is soaked in water for 4 days and the swelling and water absorption values are noted. Okay, so initially before testing, we try to test the soil specimen for the worst case scenario, and hence what we do is we initially soak the soil specimen in water for a period of 4 days and later on we test it. The surcharge weight is placed on the top of the specimen in the mold and assembly is placed under the plunger of the loading frame. Okay, there is a surcharge weight, okay, which is placed on top of the soil in order to apply a seating load and also to make the top surface a horizontal surface. Okay, there is a circle cut out of a diameter size greater than 50 mm through which the penetration or the plunger can penetrate the soil specimen. Okay, now the load is applied on the sample by a standard plunger with diameter of 50 mm at rate of 1.25 mm per minute. Okay, so now what we do is we keep on increasing the load and the plunger starts to penetrate the soil sample. Okay, the loading rate is 1.25 mm per minute. A load penetration curve is drawn. Okay, so load penetration curve is been drawing here. Okay, we have the penetration on the x-axis and the load on the y-axis. We plot those values and form a curve. Okay, the load values on standard crushed stones are 1370 kg and 2055 kg at 2.5 mm and 5 mm penetrations respectively. Okay, so these are the standard values that we'll need in order to find out the CBR. Now once we have this graph plotted, okay, we have these two curves over here, not two, one is, I've drawn one for the correction purpose. Suppose we have one curve, that is curve A. We obtain this curve using the values obtained from our tests. Okay, now CBR value is expressed as a percentage of the actual load causing the penetrations of 2.5 mm or 5 mm to the standard loads mentioned above. Okay, so how do we calculate the CBR? CBR percentage is given as load sustained by the specimen. Now suppose we need to calculate, firstly we are calculating CBR at 2.5%, 2.5 mm. Okay, so CBR equal to load sustained at 2.5 mm. We have 2.5 mm here. Okay, you need to extend a vertical to cut this curve here, then extend a horizontal. Whatever load value you obtain here, you substitute it at the numerator, divided by the load sustained by the standard aggregates. Now the standard aggregate load at 2.5 mm is 1370. Okay, so here the denominator would be 1370. in percentage. Okay, so we'll multiply this by 100, and whatever percentage that we get is the CBR percentage at 2.5 mm. Okay, now what we do is similarly we do it for 5 mm penetration. So CBR at 5 mm would be load sustained at 5 mm. This is 5 mm. We extend a vertical to cut the curve at a point, and then we extend a horizontal here. So this load would be the numerator, and the denominator is nothing but load sustained by standard aggregates. Standard load at 5 mm is 2055. So this would be 2055 into 100, since the CBR percentage, the CBR is in percentage. Okay, so likewise we have obtained the CBR values at 2.5 mm and 5 mm penetration. Now, if the CBR value obtained from the test at 5 mm penetration is higher than that at 2.5 mm penetration, then the test is to be repeated for checking. Okay, since I told you earlier on that the CBR value would keep on reducing with the penetration. So in most of the cases it is likely that we get the penetration at 2.5 mm is the CBR value at 2.5 mm is greater than that at 5 mm. But if we do not get this same, then what we do is we recheck our values, okay, and we conduct the test again. If the check test again gives the similar results, okay, then the higher values which are obtained at 5 mm penetration is reported as the CBR value. Okay, so once again, even after conducting the test, again we get the value CBR value at 5 mm is greater than that at 2.5 mm, then that higher value is considered as the CBR value of the specimen. Similarly, the average CBR values of 3 test specimens is reported as the CBR value of the sample. So we need to conduct 3 such tests for confirming the CBR value of that soil section. Okay, so we'll need to prepare 3 soil specimens and then test them individually, and then the average CBR values would give us the design CBR value for that soil specimen. Now, ideally, the curve of load versus penetration for CBR should be as shown in curve A. Okay, so it should be in this shape. But sometimes what we do is, what happens is we obtain a curve of this shape. Okay, so the end is not perfectly convex over here. Okay, so if you obtain a curve B type of curve, then you need to apply correction. Okay, so what we do is, from the point at which the convex shape is changing into a concave shape, we extend a line which is shown as a dotted line over here. Okay, and this will cut the x-axis at this point. Okay, so what we'll do now is, instead of the 0 starting from here, our 0 for the new curve will start from this point. Okay, so this would be 0, then again measuring in centimeters or in mm's, all the corresponding values here would change. The only difference is our 0 will not start over here, but it will start from here. Okay, so this was about the CBR test. I'll start with the plate bearing test in my next lecture. Thank you.